We have got a lot to discuss. So let's not waste time. Let's just go ahead and get down to it. As you guys know, we've got 2 new banners incoming tonight. We have a new banner incoming next week and a banner incoming the week after that. Basically, the new collab, we'll get to it, but it's releasing 3 banners in 4 weeks. It's a weird schedule. So let's talk about the Sword Oratoria banners incoming this evening, okay? So these are just standard banners, these are like any other banners we've had. First, 4th, 7th, and 10th draws are guaranteed. Everything is normal price. Nothing's really very special about these banners. Now, these units, we talked about these a while back. JP got these a good bit ago, and these units seem to be pretty good on paper. We're going to start off with Eyes, okay? First things first, Eyes is almost 4,000 HP, which is like that sweet spot for me. Eyes has got a really good number there. 2115 for her physical stat is phenomenal. 547 for endurance is really good. 1200 on the money for agility. Numbers-wise, she's a really good unit. But let's see what she does here, okay? So, skill 1 is a 50 MP cost. Self, fast, strength, strength, and wind attack damage 70% for 3 turns. Foes, plural. Physical resist plus 35%. Or I'm sorry, down 35%. My apologies, down 35%. So basically, she buffs her own strength and wind attack damage and debuffs the opponent's AoE resistance. 35% isn't like end of the world stuff. We've seen that a lot lately. But the fact that you would have that on the team means you can open up a sack spot for doing some other stuff. So it's a very good skill, that. And skill 2 then is a 46 MP cost, foes plural, high wind physical attack with ultra and counter rate, and wind resist. Is it wind resist down? Wind resist down 35% for 3 turns, 3 additional actions, foes plural, low wind physical attack with ultra and guard rate. So really, really, really good skills, just like all in, just some great, phenomenal skills. By and by, the physical resistance is also 3 turns. I think I missed that. Now, skill 3 is a 34 MP cost, foe singular, super wind physical attack with ultra and guard rate, skill damage plus 60% per foe physical resistance debuff. That is a really solid, absolutely stellar single target attack, which means she's going to be useful even in a record buster or any single target situation. She's a really solid unit. I like Eyes a lot. It is a unit the Wind team could definitely use on their side. Really good stuff. SA. Foes plural, ultra wind physical attack, ultra on guard rate, skill damage plus 60% once again per foe physical resistance debuff, and allies strength plus 120%. So let me explain why I really adore this skill and why I want this Eyes so badly. Okay? Now, number 1, these units are not time limited. So do bear this in your decision-making process when you're deciding what to do here. But the fact that Eyes does have a strength 120% means you do not need that strength buff from the wind Haruhime. So you now have a unit on your team that gets that strength buff right out of the gate and does an attack with it with that 60%. That's going to be a really solid hit. Remember, you should be debuffing that both on the assist side and the adventure side, which means that attack is going to become a 120% attack. It is going to be really, really solid. In fact, one thing I haven't discussed here is if you have extra skills, like I said, there's the foe low in physical attack with ultra and counter rate. I believe those skills in there even count separately. So while I do say that's 120%, I believe if you hit right, and if you were to have a physical resistance debuff from that extra skill, I'm sorry, it's not that extra skill. Let me take that back. It's actually from the extra actions on your assists. Assists that get extra actions, their skills count separately. If you ever really look at the way units are added up, some are everything's separated into different groups, and everything has a different shape attributed to it. There's a little hexagonal shape that goes between the adventure and the assist skills. Those are assist actions. And if we have an assist action, which I have to go look, I'm not really certain if that's in the game yet or not, but if we had an assist action that was a physical resistance debuff and that were in play for whatever reason, now once again I'm stretching here, but that means that what normally would be 120% could actually be up to 160, yeah, 180%. So, yeah, things to consider. But remember, those numbers, while not the greatest in history, and, you know, we do have units that do 80% for AoE, it still is a really solid attack. And the fact she gets that 60% with her skill 3 really makes up the difference. That skill 3 is really, really good, regardless of whether she's an AoE or a single target. That's a great skill 3. I like eyes a lot. 35% earth resistance counters are when physical attack, 35% strength, agility, and dex, 20% damage on critical and penetration, 50% counter damage, and she is a plant killer. Really solid unit. And you guys know we have a Familia rush incoming that's going to ask for plant killers, so she's going to be phenomenal for that. Phenomenal. Okay. I like eyes a whole lot. A whole lot. Tione. Now, one thing to bear in mind, she's only one of 3 units on this banner. So let's talk about Tione. Okay? Tione also is pretty close to that really nice 4K mark. Now, she's 3779, but she's also a magic unit, not a physical unit, and they tend to be a little bit squishier. But her endurance 675, my apologies, 675, really is off the charts for a magic unit. So as far as magic units go, she is probably one of the more defensively minded ones. Maybe not the best we've ever had, but top 5 easily, defensively, I should say, of the magic units we've had. Remember, like I said, magic units tend to be a little more squishy. 2010 for a magic stat is phenomenal. 767 for endurance, for agility ain't the greatest thing ever, but I get the feeling that's not what she's here for. Because if we go look at her stats here, skill 1 is a 46 MP cost foe singular. Remember, whenever you see foe singular, think Record Buster, and that really takes agility out of the picture. Foe singular mid thunder magic attack with self magic and thunder attack damage plus 70% for 4 turns. 3 additional actions, foe singular low thunder magic attack, and extend status buffs by 2 turns. So, really good unit once again. I like this unit a lot. Skill 2 is a 45 MP cost, foe singular, super thunder magic attack with ultra unguard rate, temporary magic boost, magic resistance, and thunder resistance, both. Magic and thunder both down 40%. I get the feeling, if not this Record Buster, maybe the next one, this unit is going to be probably bar none, like one of the best. The fact that she does both magic resist and thunder resist down 40% is unmistakably one of the best skills out there. She is so killer. Now, it is a single target. It's not an AoE. That is the big difference here. But as far as Record Buster goes, she's going to be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Now, skill 3. Foe singular high thunder magic attack. With critical rate and skill damage, catch this, 120% per foe strength and magic resistance buff. So, they have a strength buff and a magic resistance buff, and they will remove strength and magic resistance buffs. That is going to hit really hard in that circumstance. Now, here's the thing. That is extremely rare. But when you do have that, she's going to hit like an absolute truck. I like this unit a lot. Of course, I'm always partial to Record Buster units, but this unit is phenomenal. The only downside is I really don't know how good Thunder is going to be, all said and done, when it comes to Record Buster. So she's more like, you know, a 1-unit army, I guess you could say. She's probably the Thunder unit you're going to slide into, like, you know, a mostly other element team or a mostly magic team or something like that. I do not see her being someone that is going to... I mean, just the Thunder team alone, I just don't know how much Record Buster support they have. But once again, it could be wrong on that one, and they could change that before you know it. It's just, I kind of feel like she's going to stand alone by herself. It's a really, really strong magic single target unit. Her SA is Ultra Thunder Magic Attack with Ultra Critical Rate, great temporary magic boost, and allies Thunder Attack damage plus 100% for 3 turns. She's going to be insane. Insane for the Thunder team. I like this unit a lot. Now, final unit on the banner is this the bearer, Raul. Man, I almost made a bad call there. So Raul is an assist, of course. Allies AoE damage and single target damage taken down 20%. So he debuffs incoming AoE and single target damage. Heal rate and guard rate both increase 15%. This, mark my words, that skill in Wargame is going to be game-changing. If you are a Wargame main, you need this assist completely. 100%. Raul is nuts. Every unit on this banner is nuts. Let's talk about the other banner. We'll talk about the situation here, because we have Anakitty, Tiona, and Gareth to get through here. So, let's jump into Anakitty. Okay? Anakitty! 3845 for a HP stat. It's getting up there. It's a good stat. It's just, you know, like I said, I'm always looking for that magic 4K number. 2113 for physical attack is phenomenal. 567 for endurance is really good. 1192 for agility is really, really good. None of these stats are game-breaking or game-changing, but they are exceptional stats. Exceptional stats. Let's see here. Skill 1 is a 63 MP cost, foes plural, physical resist down 40% for 5 turns, and self AoE attack damage taken. Yes, self AoE attack damage taken down 60% for 5 turns. Damn. And 3 additional actions, foes plural, mid-water physical attack, skill damage plus 50%. Wait, what? Hold on. Skill damage plus 50% per foe singular AoE damage taken buff. Remove AoE damage taken buffs and HP regen. It's weirdly written, but basically if they're basically, it says buff, but I mean it's kind of a debuff, I guess you could say. Anyway, if their AoE damage is debuffed, you're going to do 50% more damage. That's a really weirdly written skill, but I see this is really meant solely, and I mean solely, for Wargame. And here's the deal. Here's why this is just a nutty situation. Because you're always going to be attacking with AoE damage buffs. I mean, technically it's a debuff, but it's still, it buffs the AoE damage taken per that unit. It's a weird way to write it. It's such a weird way to write it. I mean, technically it's a debuff. But, so, I guess maybe they're talking about maybe they're actually talking about the defensive buffs. That must be what they're talking about. They're probably talking about defensive buffs instead of debuffs. It's such a weirdly written thing. But basically, if they have one of those skills, she's going to hit 50% harder. And if it's, you know, once again, affected by an assist skill that does that, she's going to hit for 100%. So basically, if they're just turtling, more or less what you're looking at here is you're looking at a situation where anybody that's using a stall team that is just AoE damage resistance, all, like, you know, just a wall of AoE damage resistance, she comes in and she's like, the hell you say, and just wipes it out. Really stellar unit. If you're Wargame main, mark my words, you're going to want this unit, especially for FWG. Skill 2, and we haven't even gotten to Skill 2. Skill 2 is a 49 MP cost. Foes, plural, fast, high water physical attack with high penetration rate, 30% seal and self, 60% HP regen, strength, and water attack damage plus 70% for 2 turns. I really don't have much more I can say there. This unit is nuts. Skill 3 is a foe singular high water physical attack with ultra and guard rate. Skill damage 25% per strength and magic debuff. So that could hit up to 100%. And her SA is a foe's plural ultra water physical attack with ultra and guard rate. Ultra and guard rate, temporary great strength boost, and allies strength and water attack damage plus 80%. Boy. As if the water team needed to be buffed at all. As if it was even necessary to buff the water team. This unit comes in and is just like, what's up? I adore this unit. She will be insane for Wargame. Insane for Wargame. If you are a Wargame main, you gotta have this unit. It's just, she's a must own. Which brings us to a problem, but we'll talk about that. Okay, let's talk about Gareth first. 3937 for an HP stat. Once again, that's a phenomenal HP stat. 2019 for physical stat, which leaves a little bit to be desired, but in fairness here, endurance is pretty good at 560. Dex is off the charts. 1000 on the money for Dex is a weird but insane stat. I think that's, if not the highest in the game, pretty damn close. And his agility really leaves nothing to be desired, but once again, I get the feeling that's not what he's built for, but let's read this anyway. Skill 1 is a 45 MP cost. He is a foe's plural high thunder physical attack with temporary strength boost, AoE damage taken plus 35% for 3 turns, and self, strength, dex, and thunder attack damage plus 60%. Dex is a weird skill to buff, but believe me when I say that is going to help out a lot. A lot. Skill 2 is a 93 MP cost. Foe's plural super thunder physical attack with ultra penetration rate, skill damage plus 60% per foe, AoE damage taken, debuff. So basically, okay, so it does say AoE damage taken, debuff. So if we go back to Anakitty, basically, if they're defensively buffing their AoE damage, if it's an AoE damage buff, i.e. AoE damage down 35%, she's going to hit 50% and then remove that debuff. Basically, Gareth, basically she's designed to counter Gareth 100%. That is what she's there to do. She's the counter to this unit, more or less. With him, for every AoE damage taken debuff, i.e. the thing she does, where she debuffs their AoE. So let's say they do AoE damage plus 35% per hit. He's going to get the buff based on that. So they kind of counter each other in a weird way. They'll work well together in a team, but they also counter each other. So if you come up against a team that you have both and they have both, they kind of nullify each other. So it's one slight downside. But if you've got both of them on a team, they're going to work really, really, really well together. It's really nutty. Let's say they kind of counter each other in a way. It comes a stalemate situation if they kind of face each other in battle, but one kind of is designed to negate the other. It's really, really weird, but it's a really great build. Skill 3 is a foe singular super thunder physical attack with ultra and guard rate. Great temporary strength boost. You know, guys, when I don't see that percentage, I say it's a wasted skill. SA, foe's plural ultra thunder physical attack with ultra critical rate. Great temporary strength boost, physical resist and magic resist down 50%. I like that a lot for 2 turns. AoE damage taken plus 40% per 2 turns. Remember, that's a debuff. Debuff AoE damage taken. So in other words, that's just going to help our other units out just phenomenally. 35% water resist counters our thunder attack. 30% strength in dex. He's all about dex. All about dex. 20% damage taken on critical and penetration. 30% strength when wielding a 2-handed sword. Interesting. And he's a flank killer. He is a strange build. I don't think this unit is going to get a lot of love, but I think for the people that do enjoy him and do utilize him, he is going to be a huge asset. So, very interesting build that. Very interesting build. Let's talk Tiona, okay? Tiona! She is an assist as well. Magic resist down 25%. Strength and magic down 15%. She is 100% designed for Wargame, and she's designed to make your magic teams that much stronger. She's a very straightforward build. HP isn't really much to talk about. 898 is nothing, especially in the HP department. Agility 316 is nothing. Her magic stat is where it's all at. She's 100% magic stat, 645. And even that's kind of... I'd say over 700 is really like the number to be at in this day and age. But, you know, she's not bad by a long shot. You definitely don't want to use her on a physical unit. You want to use her on a magic unit. I'm not in love with this assist. But there is something to be said for her. If you don't have... I mean... She's the best magic resistance debuff in the game. I believe she's actually a power creep on the debuff. I could be wrong. I don't think we've had another magic resistance 25%. I think she's the only one that has that. So if you do have a magic war game team, you need her more or less. But in fairness, I kind of feel like we're going to get other units that do this. And maybe even combo units. I don't know, guys. I'm not immediately sold on this unit just because her stats are kind of... But to be fair, it's the first unit on both of these banners that I'm not absolutely enamored with. So here's the deal, guys. So let's talk about this, okay? This banner, first off, I love. I wish I could go all the way on this banner. The problem is I just don't have the iris to manage 3 banners. And that's the reality, is you're looking at 3 banners. This is a full 4,000 iris I guess, predicament. I don't know. How would you word it? It's going to cost you 4,000 iris to go all the way into this banner, and the other banner is very much the same. The other banner here is another 4K iris, so you're talking an 8K iris investment. Okay, and I love everybody on these teams. Here's the thing, though: all these units are non-time limited, so you could get. Go after one or the other. If I had to choose, I hate to say it, I'd probably pick this banner because I think the units are slightly better. But to be fair, I kind of feel like the units over here, especially Anakitty, I could probably use more just because I use my water team so much. It's a weird situation. It's a weird decision to make here. But all these units are non-time limited. So if you don't go after them now, they're going to be available later. You guys know we get those paid banners. It's like, oh, any units after April of 2022 will be on the banner, or things like that. So they'll be around and they'll be available in tickets and things like that. The downside, and I've been saying this, for the past couple of years, the downside of that is that the general pool is very bloated in this day and age. And it is hard to get new units in the general pool. I wish they would do something and improve the numbers on those, improve the rates. The upside, as you guys know, well, the kind of sort of upside is during the anniversary, you're most likely going to get a whole ton of these types of units. So if you don't get these now, it's not the worst thing ever, because most likely the anniversary is going to be just general, like double rates, but general pool units. So here's the thing, guys. We have another collab incoming, and we've known this for a minute, okay? The Executioner and the Crossroads, okay? This banner, well, these 3 banners, we know 2 of the 3 at this point, and these are very interesting banners, and these are time limited. So let's talk about them first, okay? Mino. I hope I'm not butchering that too badly. So Mino is a physical unit. 3805 isn't the greatest HP, but it's not bad. 2118 is a really phenomenal strength stat. 587 is a really good endurance stat. And 1185 is a very respectable agility stat. Now these banners are coming in. This banner's coming in tomorrow. The other banner's coming in next Thursday. And the good news is, with this, you have a higher probability of MLBing the units off of these banners. Number one, this is getting a heroic trial. Okay? So immediately when this banner drops tomorrow, we are also getting the heroic trial for the banner. Number two, there's 2 units on this banner. Number 3, if you go back and actually look at this banner, every odd pull is normal price. I'm sorry, every odd pull is half price, with the exception of the first one, which is free. Every even pull is normal priced. It is 2,800 Irish to go into this banner. So it's a really solid investment. And since we're getting the heroic trial, your odds of maximum breaking a unit are a lot higher. Now, that said, let's talk about what these units do, okay? Remember, every unit on these 2 banners, with the exception of Hestia that's coming in next week. So the 2 units on this banner and Akari on the next banner coming in next Thursday, these units are all fresh CP. They have never been in the game before. They have, it's not like the last collab we had where some of the units were, some of the units weren't. We have 3 and probably 5 in total, maybe, hopefully, depending on what the last banner looks like in 4 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. So at least 4, if not 5 pieces of fresh CP, and you definitely at least want to get one of each, even if you're not enamored by the unit. But let's look at what old girl here does, okay? Skill 1 is a 149 MP cost. That is an insane cost. Allies. Add 1 magic null. So in other words, she nullifies 1 magic attack. And it says add, so I wonder if that works if you already have magic nullification? I don't know. That's a question. I really don't know. Just say 1 magic nullification in self, strength, agility, and wind attack damage, 65% for 5 turns, 3 additional actions, allies, remove strength debuffs, and extend status buffs by 2 turns. Okay. Skill 2 is a 49 MP cost, foes plural, fast, high wind physical attack with ultra on guard rate, temporary strength boost, and removes AoE resistance buffs and extends status debuffs by 3 turns. Interesting build. Very interesting build. This is a high attack, but it is AoE. It removes AoE resistance buffs. Man. I really don't know, man. I feel like... Okay, let's get through skill 3 here. And the other unit. Foes singular, super wind physical attack, high penetration rate, temporary, great strength boost. As you guys know, I don't see a percentage boost there. I kind of... Question mark. Question mark, question mark. SA is a foe's plural ultra wind physical attack with ultra critical rate, temporary great strength boost, and remove status buffs. All status buffs gone with that SA. It's pretty good. I don't know if she's really one to write home about. Maybe I'm underestimating her. 20% physical and magic resistance. Okay, she's going to be very resistant. 20% damage reduction on guard. Ooh, she's going to be tanky as Hades. 35% earth resistance. Counters are wind physical attack. 35% strength, agility, and dex. And 25% damage on critical. Plus, she's a plant killer. She's going to be really good for the Familia Rush that's incoming. Let's talk about Akari, okay? Akari is also time limited. Akari is an assist. And HP stat is over 1,000, which is good. Physical stat is 617, which is really good. So, okay, not really good. It is also good. It's respectable. HP stat, or her physical stat could be much higher. HP stat is really good. I would say, being that both stats are really respectable, is a big benefit. Allies, wind attack damage and magic resistance, plus 20%. Okay, I like that a lot. Definitely could use 20% wind attack damage. And 30% HP regen and 20% MP regen per turn. Ooh. Ooh. So basically, Akari is designed to work with Mino and just turn Mino into an amazing tank. With Akari attached to Mino, Mino has very few chances to die. Like, she's going to last a long, long time. Which brings me to, like, a really big... I guess, for me, the selling point on this banner. Okay? The selling point on this banner is the fact that I can maximum break these units probably pretty quickly. There's 2 instead of 3. Guaranteed 4-star on all even pulls. That's 5 pulls where you're guaranteed a 4-star. We get a free draw. We get 4 half-price draws. If you really wanted to, all of their extra draws are their paid draws. You could draw up to 3 times. I mean, it's a tough call. I do maintain I think the Sword Oratoria units are better. I do feel like the Sword Oratoria units are much better. I feel like they're better units all the way around. They're more well-rounded and they're going to last longer. But these are fresh CP and you have a higher likelihood of max limit breaking them. So the reality is if you hit all Sword Oratoria, that's 8,000 Iris. If you hit this, that's another 2,800 Iris. And remember, there's yet another banner incoming next week, which is also 2,800 Iris. So you've got some decisions to make here. I'll go ahead and cover these units real quick because it might help some people make decisions here. So Momo, okay. Momo is 3829 HP, 2115 physical stat, 566 endurance, 1218 agility, which is a great agility stat. Even her HP is pretty respectable, not the greatest. And a really, a triple S stat, an earned triple S stat on her physical stack. Skill 1 is a 53 MP cost, allies strength and agility plus 35% for 4 turns, and self strength and agility plus 75% for 4 turns. Ooh. 3 additional actions, foes plural, lower physical attack. Notice that it's not her element though. That's just strength and agility, but she does allies and herself. That's really good. Add 3 additional actions, foes plural, low earth physical attack with ultra and guard rate. Skill 2 is a 61 MP cost. Foes fast earth physical attack with high penetration rate. Skill damage plus 30%. Ooh. Percentage boosts on the second skill is nasty. Per foe strength, agility, and physical resistance buff. Let me just stop here for a moment. Let me just put this in perspective, okay? Skill damage 30% per foe, strength, agility, and physical resistance buff. That is a 180% AoE. AoE damage buff. This unit is nasty. Now, to be fair, you're not likely to get all those, honestly. But if they built their teams out right, you will. And in Wargame, that's going to be a deadly, filthy deadly skill. Strength, agility, and physical resistance. And we'll remove those buffs as well. So the reality is, hit like a truck, wipe out those skills. If they get rebuffed, then you can hit it again. But honestly, I think it's going to be like that. That's a double. They're a double. That's a 5-digit hit right there, easily, maybe more. She's going to be. It's going to be a deadly, deadly, deadly skill. Of all the units I've seen this far, I think Momo's probably the most frightening wargame unit. Maybe her and Anakitty might be like tied for a level of terrifying. But even so, I kind of feel like Momo's gonna hit harder than Anakitty. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I think Anakitty's really good. But here's the deal. Momo has a foe singular super earth physical attack with ultra and guard rate and skill damage 70% per self strength buff. That's something you can help. That's something you can control, and that is a 140% hit, pretty much guaranteed. On a skill 3 with an AoE unit. Momo is a must-have unit. Period. Her SA is a foe's plural ultra earth physical attack with ultra and guard rate, temporary great strength boost, earth resist down 60% for 3 turns. She's 35% thunder resistance. Counters are earth attack. Counters and regular attacks are earth attack. Strength, agility, dex 35%, 20% damage on penetration, not on critical, which is interesting. I'm wondering if that was just left off. 15% physical resist and magic resist, and she is a plant killer. Momo's a must-have, y'all. Save some Iris. You got to max out Momo. You got to max out Momo. Okay? And, of course, we've got Hestia because, franchise. Hestia. Allies. Shorten physical resistance, magic resistance, fire, water, thunder, earth, wind, basically all element resistances by 4 turns. And add 3 instant effects. When attacked, 50% HP heal can happen once per turn. So basically for 4 turns, every time whoever she's tied to is attacked, that gets a 50% HP heal to that character. Damn. I like Hestia too. I'm going to be honest with you. Of all the banners I've seen here, this banner is the absolute most obvious, must hit. So you got to save 2,800 Iris for this banner. 100%. Number 1, maximum breaking Momo for your wargame team is going to be totally worth. So, but we are talking, and this is the reality here. We are talking a sum total of 56 plus 8,000, basically 14,000 Iris investment if you went all in. If you want my honest opinion, it's a really tough call. I really feel like this banner, the Eyes banner, and the Momo banner are going to be your 2 best if you have to pick. But also you want to make sure that you get both of the units on the banner that's incoming tomorrow. You got to have Mino and you got to have Akari. They're must-haves just because they're fresh CP. So save some Iris for tomorrow. And do bear in mind, those units are going to be a lot easier to max limit break than these. You have a high likelihood of having to go deeper on this banner or whaling in order to max them out. So Mino and Akari I know aren't the greatest, but they do represent a really good defensive front to your wargame teams. So if you want my honest opinion, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, I'd say pound for pound free-to-play Iris for free-to-play Iris, I feel like the collab banners are better for your free-to-play Iris. But I feel like the Sword Oratoria units by and large are better. So you've just got some decisions to make, I hate to say. What's a better value? The Sword Oratoria units, I think, all around are just better units. That's my take. That's the best recommendation I can give you. If you're more worried about value, go in. If you can afford to whale, you definitely want to try to get these units. But also bear in mind we have an anniversary coming around the corner, and who knows what the anniversary is going to have to offer. And the anniversaries are always a major power creep, so do keep that in mind, in the back of your mind as well. I wasn't much help, but those are the facts. Like, comment, share, guys. I'll catch you for the live stream here in just a little bit.